Robocop 3 betrays its quality as soon as you press the start button. Just some audio options and then press start to play at the bottom of the screen. Anyone who's spent a lot of time playing Super Nintendo games knows this is not a good sign. But we shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Let's play the game and see what happens.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, when people my age and older talk about how back in the day video games were more difficult, I feel like they don't remember why they were more difficult. I am fine with game difficulty if there is a reason to be good at said video game, mainly the game being good. But in the case of Robocop 3 here, and in many other games of its ilk, it seems to offer from being difficult almost entirely due to incompetent game design. The designers had to have known what they were doing here. Robocop moves like he weighs 2 tons, which might be lore accurate for all I know, but it makes jumping feel like a chore. Enemies can shoot you from very far off screen, while you have to get them mostly on screen to harm them. Some enemies shoot bullets that are entirely unavoidable from what I can tell, so the game is forced to put ample health pickups just to make sure you can progress, even if you're playing quite well, because you are guaranteed to be hit at some point, even as you get much better at the game. There is no invincibility window when you get hit, so if you end up in the wrong place at the wrong time, you can die immediately from close to full health without even noticing you're being damaged. The only thing I think demonstrates you being damaged is your sprite turning red. There is also sometimes a sound cue, but I don't think there is one every time, mainly from collision damage. I don't really think there's a sound cue. If you do manage to make your way through the initial onslaught of the same 3 sprites over and over again, you get to run into some obstacles that are on their own cycles when they are spawned by your motion, like these wrecking balls and these platforms. I'm pretty sure the platforms killed me more than any other thing during the 55-ish minutes I played this game. By the way, in 55 minutes of playing, I only ever saw the first level, and I believe I made it to what seemed to be the end of the level once. As far as I can tell, there are 5 stages, but I can't even confirm that because at writing, there is not a game fac for the Super Nintendo version of this game. I have played dozens of games with no English translation through using English game facts guides, and that should tell you pretty much everything you actually need to know about the quality of this game. The enemies generally feel incredibly unfair, especially this weird sequence with dudes on bikes. It might be possible that you can actually shoot the bikes and stop them from hurting you, but I've never actually been able to do it. Also, I didn't realize you could shoot straight up for a good 30 minutes while I was playing, so this flying robot sequence here got me more times than it should have, as these particular enemies home in on you and are able to avoid getting to where you can shoot them at an angle. To be honest, this whole level just feels tedious and mean. I understand maybe I could have gotten good faster and been more patient at some parts I died, but I do feel like a lot of the get good at video games crowd forget that the point of video games is to have fun. I did get pretty good at this level by the end of my play session, but for what? The level design is lazy. These graphics are pretty ugly. The enemies look dumb. You're just walking down the street shooting people and robots. You could do this in Contra 3 and have way more fun. I'd like to avoid drawing comparisons in these reviews, but I'm playing these games in release order. Contra 3 has been out. It's a fun game. It's also difficult. Any time you're spending doing something, you could be doing something else with that time. And this game is simply not worth your time, unless you're morbidly curious about an unpopular port of a game for a movie you've probably never seen. I didn't even know there were sequels to Robocop when I was growing up. although I guess I was very slightly too young for the height of Robocop's popularity. Anyways, this game is bad. I only got to the end of the first level and managed to get up to 3rd place on the scoreboard they have, because of course they do. They didn't even make the scores high enough for them to demonstrate you doing very well at the game. Not beating the first level is not that big of an achievement. I checked and couldn't find any cheat codes to see more of the game, so I guess the rest of the game will forever be a mystery to me. GameFAQs does have this hilarious code for the Genesis version of the game though, if it is to be believed. Anyone want to try it out and let me know if it works? That's all I have to say about Robocop 3. The next game in our journey appears to be Super Bully, which I have not played yet, and I'm worried is going to be a 30-second video. But if you don't subscribe to my channel, how will you ever find out? Also, like this video if you enjoyed seeing the parts of me spending the ever-decreasing time I have left on this earth playing this abomination of a video game for some reason. Gives my brain some sense of gratification. Let me know if you ever rented this game or something like it from the video store some weekend when you were a kid. We can swap miserable stories. Hope you have a great rest of your day.